Hey guys, it's me, Jammin' Music Man, and welcome to my all-new album review video. And today it's going to be for the legendary, groundbreaking album, Nirvana's Nevermind. Now, a lot of you out there are probably seeing out there that the 20-year anniversary edition is out, but in my hand is the original 1991 CD with 12 classic tracks on the back. And if you see that monkey right there, Kurt Cobain, he actually took that picture. And everyone knows the classic album cover with the baby underwater chasing the dollar bill. Now, this album was released in September 24th, 1991. So happy birthday to Nirvana Nevermind and all of its fans around the world who are, just celebrating the release of this album. It's 20 years. And here we are 20 years later, and we still are talking about this album. But what was going on in 91? George Bush Sr. was president. There was a recession going on. Michael Jackson, the king of pop, still ruled the charts. Hair bands ruled the charts. The whole Rodney King drama was still going on in 91. And during the spring of 91, Nirvana had hooked up with producer Butch Vig after they had signed with DGC Records, and they had left Sub Pop because Sub Pop was going through financial problems in the early 90s. And before Nevermind, Nirvana had released their debut album Bleach, which sold pretty good on the underground music scene. But they had hooked up with Butch Vig to record this album in the spring of 91, and by fall of 91 this album was ready to be out for the masses. And when this album was released, it was only like 155 on the music charts, and the record label wasn't even expecting this album to do good. But by January 92, it had replaced Michael Jackson's Dangerous, and it was a shock to everyone that any band would outsell the king of pop. And 92 is really the best year for the whole grunge scene, because bands like Pearl Jam and grunge, they were just basically disintegrating all the hair bands at that time. And we're just going to talk about the track listings and the feel and the impact of this album. And during the recording process, Cobain had said that he was listening to a lot of R.E.M., the Smithereens, the Pixies, and he got a lot of his influence from the Pixies to incorporate that soft, loud feel that Nirvana had on this album. And Cobain was using the 1960s Fender Jaguar, and he was using a lot of distortion and chorus pedals during the recording process. Like Come As You Are, you can tell by the chorus effect, by that dark, watery sound. That's a chorus effect. But I'm just going to give you the track listings and the feel of the album. The feel of the album is basically punk, rock, with a commercial pop feel that you can easily sing along. I mean, a lot of these songs on this album are, just as singable as any Beatles, Michael Jackson. They're easily just to sing along to. I mean, but there's 12 title tracks in all, and the first title track is the epic Smells Like Teen Spirit. And for some of you out there who don't know, the music video was inspired by the 1979 movie Over the Edge with Matt Dillon, about rebellious teenagers in a small town. And basically what Cobain and Nirvana saw in the movie, how the teenagers just run amok all over the town. They wanted the kids in the high school gym just to go completely crazy and destroy everything, and they got the influence from that movie. But that's track number 1 for Nirvana's Nevermind. Number 2 is In Bloom, which is another just punk, rock, commercial feel song. Number 3, it's the dark Come As You Are, and you can really hear that watery chorus effect during Come As You Are. Number 4 is Breed, which is just a straight up, punk rock feel song. Number 5, it's the catchy Lithium, which you can tell once again, you can hear you know, the quiet during the verses, and then it gets loud during the chorus. You can tell on Lithium how, you know, Cobain was influenced by the Pixies. Number 6, it's an acoustic song, Polly. Number 7, it's Territorial Pissings, which is another just upbeat punk rock. Number 8 is Drain You, another upbeat punk rock feel. Number 9 is Lounge Act, another upbeat punk rock. Number 10, it's Stay Away, once again, another upbeat punk. Number 11, it's On a Plane, and number 12 is Something in the Way, and the legend has it that Something in the Way, Cobain wrote that song when he was living under a bridge in Aberdeen, Washington. But I'm going to give this album, of course, 5 stars. It's one of the best albums in the past 20 years, and there hasn't been an album, in my opinion, that has came close to Nirvana's Nevermind. Now, the effect that this album had, some people say that Nirvana's music and the whole grunge rock scene kind of ruined rock music. I mean, you can feel free to agree or disagree, but I mean, today's bands now, of course, you know, bar stuff from Nirvana and all the other 90s bands, but today's rock bands, they're not as influential and they're not as creative with their music as, you know, Nirvana was. And, you know, that's the negative effect that I think this album had. I mean, Nirvana helped alternative music get into the mainstream, but a lot of today's bands just, you know, I don't know what to say about today's music, but I mean, this is 5 stars. You know, this album, I mean, it should be on like a holy grail if you ask me. But if you're just discovering Nirvana's music, I mean, of course you got to have this in your collection. I mean, if you've been a fan 20 years ago, you know, please leave lots of comments and share your memories on this album. But Nirvana's Nevermind, 20 years old, you know, happy birthday to, you know, this CD, and our happy anniversary. But I hope you leave me lots of comments and share your memories on this album. And, you know, thanks for watching and thanks for subscribing. And I'm Jammin' Music Man, and keep listening to the music.